Hi, I'm Saket Bansal back again with another 10 questions on your PMI-ACP. In this particular set, I am focusing on delivery domain, majorly focusing on some of the interesting calculation-based or interpretation-based question towards Agile matrices. So let's get started with question number 131. During a retrospective, the Scrum Master introduces value stream mapping to help the team identify inefficiencies in their workflow. The team analyzes a recently completed work item and map its movement through various stages. Work item moved. The work item went through following steps: design, 2 days of active work, 1 day of fit for review; development, 2 days of active work, 2 days of waiting for code review; testing, 1 days of active work, 2 days of waiting for test environment setup; development, deployment, 1 day's active work, and no waiting time. Additionally, there were 2 holidays during this period, increasing the total elapsed time to 13 days. What is the flow efficiency of this work item? Now, in a simple word, this question is just asking you, do you know what is flow efficiency? And if you know it, can you identify based on the data given to you? You don't have to do a calculation, but because the final number is not given, it is just shown the numerator and denominator only in the option. So what should be the denominator in this case and what should be a numerator in this case? So what is the flow efficiency? If you have seen the optimize the flow topic, eliminate waste topic, 2 of the topics of your delivery domain focuses on value stream mapping and flow efficiency. And flow efficiency is identified as the value added time divided by the total time. Yeah. Now, the total time, sometime also we see it value added plus non-value added time. That's how the total time is. Now, in this particular case, I think one of the easiest thing we can identify is what is the value added time? What is the active time? So design 2, development 2, testing 1, deployment 1. So I can fairly say that this total is coming to 6. Yeah. So when I look at an option A, B, C, D, I only focus on A and B option because value added time is clearly coming 6. Yeah. So I need to choose something between A and B. Now, what is the denominator? Now here there is a little trick. Should I divide it by 13 days, which is the total elapsed time, which includes holidays, or should I divide by 11 days? Now what is 11 days? Value added plus the waiting time given here. 1 plus 2 plus 2, there is a 5 days of wait happen. So if I just divide 6 divide by 5 plus 6, it becomes 6 by 11. And the A is focusing on 6 by 13, which includes the holiday time as well. As per the understanding of flow efficiency, we need to go with option A. Yeah. It doesn't matter there was a holiday or there was a shutdown or anything. We need to focus on what was the value added time and what was the total time. That's the flow efficiency for your understanding purpose. So option A is the right answer here. Now you can map it to recognize and eliminate waste. Task 4, task 7, optimize the flow of your delivery domain also touches upon this particular topic. Question number 132. Your Kanban board has the following workflow stages: backlog, development, done, accepted, closed. Yeah, so done, I can assume the development done. Okay. Now you are analyzing the movement of a work item to understand lead time and the development process cycle time. Yeah. Below is the journey of a work item with a timestamp. So adding to a backlog, 1st January, 10 a.m. Stayed in the backlog until development started, 1st January till 12 p.m. and development started at 12 p.m. Reached done stage of the development at 2:30 p.m. Moved to accepted stage at 4:30 p.m. and closed at 4:30 p.m. So it means it remains between 2:30 to 4:30, it remain into development done. Okay, so based on this data, what is the lead time and the development process cycle time for this work item? Yeah. So say you probably have a clear understanding of lead time and cycle time, but it is not enough to just remember the definition of it. You need to see it as well in front of you when you get presented with the data. Now, lead time is straightforward, very simple to calculate. It is just the total time, starting till ending. Yeah. So if I'm starting at 10 a.m. and I'm closing at 4:30 p.m., then this is I'm getting an acceptance at 4:30 p.m. My customer is getting that delivery at 4:30 p.m. So from customer to customer, yeah. So accepted till the time it is not accepted, till time it is not closed, the whole cycle I have to cover. So I can easily say between 4:30 to 10, I have a 6.5 hours. So lead time is going to be a 6.5 hours. Yeah, so that's clear. So option A and option C are the only candidate option now. Now, what is the development cycle time? So see, cycle time could be at multiple stages in your Kanban board. Yeah, sometimes you have a development cycle time, testing cycle time, overall cycle time. In this particular case, we are seeing the development is a one stage, second stage. So if you want to find out cycle time, you just want to find out how long the items are getting stayed in a development stage. Yeah. So that is my development cycle time. So in this particular item, it stayed between 12 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. Yeah, in a development stage. So my development cycle time is going to be 2.5 hours. So if I go with that, option C is the right answer because lead time is 6.5 hours and your development process cycle time is 2.5 hours. Any doubt, any confusion, put into comment area, we can have a conversation. So this maps to your agile matrices, recognizing and eliminating waste and optimizing the flow. Question number 133. Your Kanban board has following workflow stages: backlog, development done, simple one. At the start of the day, 9 a.m., the board had backlog of 8. In a backlog column, we had 8 work items. In a development column, we had 4 work items. And in a done columns, we had 2 work items. So it means that when we are starting our work, they might be coming from previous day. This was our current state. Yeah. So you can say end of the previous day, this was the stage. And this is starting as a first, when we are opening our work, this is our current stage. At the end of the day, 5 p.m., the board had a backlog 6 work item, development 5 work items, and done stage 5 work items. Yeah. What was the throughput for the day? Yeah, simple. So my whole intent of making this question is that most likely you have a clarity about definition of lead time, cycle time, throughput, and all this. But there is a possibility these things will come alive in your exam by way of calculation and interpretation also. This, which is very simple, provided you don't feel afraid and you know that, yeah, I know what is throughput and I can probably quickly see and find it out. Now, what is a throughput? Throughput is simply an amount of work or count of work completed in a given time period. So when I say weekly throughput, I will just count the number of work marked done during that week. When I focus on daily throughput, I focus on how many items got marked done in that particular day. That's it. That's throughput. Now, how many items got marked done in this particular day? Now, you may get confused 5, yeah, because at the end, the done column is having 5. But actually, there were 2 items which were lying there in that particular column in the beginning itself. So the new item got marked done were only 3. Yeah, and that's the answer. Your simple, straightforward answer is 3 work items, option A. So map to your agile matrices and optimize the flow. Question number 134. Your agile team has noticed a steady increase in lead time over the past few sprints, meaning work items are taking longer to move from backlog, development, queued for testing, done. Additionally, flow efficiency has decreased, indicating the work is spending more time in a waiting state rather than active progress. During a retrospective, the team discussed potential causes, including more dependencies on external approvals, long queue time in the testing stage. Which metrics would best help identifying and addressing the increased lead time and decreasing flow efficiency? Yeah. So there is a question, there is a stages given, and we can probably judge that which stage is a queue stage, and we know the problem is happening because the flow efficiency decreasing means the inactive time of the work item is increasing. Yeah, so we know that. So how can we find out which particular metric can help us in solving this problem? Yeah. So let's look at the option. Velocity. The answer is no. Velocity does not help there. Velocity is a sprint level matrix, and it may not take care of my flow efficiency for individual work items, may give some indication of of our capacity or a throughput kind of thing, but not at a bottlenecks and the cycle time. Indirectly, they may correlate, but not a great matrix for this analysis. Queue length seems to be, because question indicating that the things are getting weighted in the queue. So we understand in our Kanban board, queue will have say uncontrolled limits. Usually the queue means that there can be things which are just getting accumulated at that particular stage. And if you have a long queue, it will create wait time, high wait time for sure. And it will also create the increase in the lead time. Yeah? So queue length is a good indicator overall, better than velocity definitely. Burndown chart, not at all related here. Burndown chart and velocity are more like a scrum level metrics. Burndown chart is basically focusing on how much we want to do and where we are. So it's more like tracking the schedule. It's not about tracking a particular work item finishing time. It is more like tracking this much amount of work we wanted to do. Have we done it or not? Net Promoter Score, it's a customer opinion oriented matrix, customer satisfaction related matrix. There is a possibility if you have a high lead time, the NPS will go down. There is a possibility, but it doesn't give me a direct indication of what might be going wrong in my flow. So coming back, queue length. Option B is the right answer. This again maps to your matrices and optimize the flow. Question number 135. The cumulative flow diagram provided track the progress of work item across different workflow stages over time. Ready, blue color items prepared for development. So they are like a backlog items. Dev, red color items actively being developed, actively. So it's an active stage. Dev done, teal color, item completed from development but waiting for testing. So we can say dev done is a queue stage. It's an intermediate buffer stage, which is between development and testing. Test, green, items in the testing phase or testing stage, which is being tested at a given point in time. And deployment, purple, item successfully deployed and closed. So this is your cumulative flow diagram. And here you can also see the diagram given here. Now, let's see the question so that we can focus on the the cumulative flow diagram more carefully. So based on the cumulative flow diagram, which stage is the bottleneck in the process? Which stage is the bottleneck in the process? Yeah. So we have these stages. Yeah, we have multiple stages here, and we are trying to find out that which stage is creating the bigger problem. So let's try to zoom in here and see if we can analyze the cumulative flow diagram. Yeah. So here, incidentally, you also have a table data in your PMI-ACP exam. You may not get a table data. You may only get the diagram. And that's a possibility. And cumulative flow diagram, if question comes in the question, it requires little attention. From your delivery domain workbook, you have significant amount of pages dedicated to cumulative flow diagram. So over a period of time, maybe as the new exam content starts taking more and more part in PMI-ACP, I expect cumulative flow diagram will also start showing up in the exam. As of now, it may not be coming that much, but gradually it can come. So coming back, because it is covered well in the content, that's the reason. So here we are seeing that, yes, we have a blue color which is shown. The red color is a development stage. So we know that red color of development stage, little bit work in progress is increasing towards the later stage of the development stage. Then we have this dev done stage, and this dev done, the teal color dev done stage is showing increase. Yeah, so it is showing increased work in progress. Yeah, so the more and more items, especially when you see the item from the 8th February till 11th February, so the width of dev done is increasing. Now, when can the dev done width can increase? When development is pushing the work and it is completed, it is waiting into dev done, but testing is unable to take the work. Yeah, and the more and more testing will take, then this area will shrink, and then finally things will go to the development stage. Yeah, so that seems to be a issue. Now let's focus on testing piece. Testing is consistently showing a particular work in progress limit, maybe of we can see here 1, 2, 3. So there is a little bit increase. Yeah, so initially the testing work in progress was 1, then it stayed for 2 for very long, and then in the last 2 days it is shown as a 3. Yeah, so little bit increase is happening, but it's still a consistent work in progress limit. And deployment rate is also pretty consistent. You can say that 10 to 13 means 3 items got deployed between 7th and 8th February. 8th and 9th February. 8 to 13 is 7th. 8 to 10 is 7 to 8 February. 10 to 13 is 8 to 9 February. So it's more or less like 2 items came there. Now this time 3 item throughput came. Then again 2 item throughput came. 13 to 15 and 15 to 18 also we have 3 item coming out. Yeah, so 2 to 3 items are coming out at the delivery stage. So we can say that testing is pushing 2 to 3 items out, and maybe taking 2 to 3 items in because they are keeping the work in progress limit. Yeah, but development stage might be pushing more item, because in a development dev stage we are seeing the accumulation. Yeah, we see that in a development done stage there were 3 items before, now it became 4, then 6, and then 7, and then 8. So it is clearly expanding. More and more items are waiting. Earlier it was 1 or 2 or 3 only. So where could be a bottleneck? Yeah, simple. Test stage. Yeah, test stage is showing a bottleneck because it is unable to pass through many items, and the previous stage the queue is getting formed. The bottleneck is a stage where we have a queue waiting for that particular step. Yeah, so we can easily say that in this particular graph, or as per the diagram is concerned, testing option B is the right answer, because this is the bottleneck stage. Yeah, if you're finding this topic a little confusing, I recommend you to check again the delivery domain workbook, where you can find the detailed explanation of cumulative flow diagram. We do have a video, special video, where we explain cumulative flow diagram generically as well as with Jira. You can find that in our YouTube channel as well, which can help you also understanding cumulative flow diagram. Cumulative flow diagram questions are mapped to manage agile metrics and optimize the flow, because they are basically focusing on optimization of the flow. Question number 136. So question number 136 is using the same diagram, same cumulative flow diagram. So your agile team is analyzing a cumulative flow diagram, and it has following colors. So we have already spoken about them, and the same content is there. Now the question is a little different. Based on the cumulative flow diagram, what can be inferred about the team's workflow? Select 2 correct answers. So there are 4 statements given, and we just need to see are they true or false. So whatever we discussed in our previous question, we can keep thinking about it, and we will see. Option A, the team is maintaining a steady delivery pace as the deployment section is increasing consistently. Seems to be a right option. Yeah, seems to be thing, because say what you see here is, yeah, this slope is pretty stable. Yeah, there is a, even you can say the whole slope is pretty stable. So when the slope is stable, it means throughput is stable. And at a last, and this slope, we are talking about the last column slope. And this thing is also visible from this particular data, where you see that these things are consistently going right. So I can say, yes, this is not an issue. Yes, this is a true statement. I can fairly say the team is maintaining steady delivery pace as the deployment section is increasing consistently. Yes. There seems to be a capacity balancing issue between development and testing stage, as work is not flowing at the same rate. And that is obviously clear, because we spoke about the bottleneck. So bottleneck formation itself means that we have more and more items coming from here to here. Development to waiting for testing or dev done is significantly coming in, but from a testing to next level, deployment level, not that many items are going. Yeah, so that way we have an accumulation happening, which is creating the indication of capacity balance, that the flow is getting blocked by the test theme. Yeah, there could be some other issues as well, but in general we are seeing is that the cycle time of development is faster, and which is at a rate that the throughput of the development is a little faster. They are putting more content out of it. Yeah, I'm not using a word cycle time, because in a test also they are keeping work in progress limit. So cycle time for test is also low. Yeah, that is there. But they are not increasing their cycle time by keeping the queue in the previous stage. So our queue is getting bigger. In that case, it gives an indication that we do have a little bit capacity misbalance. And this is not becoming visible in the color of test because of the buffer which we have introduced in between. Yeah? So option 2 also right. Looks like that yes, we have a development is pushing more item into the queue, and testing is unable to pull that many items out of queue. Yeah? And because of that, we are saying yes, there is a capacity misbalance. The development is showing consistent decrease in cycle time. So that is difficult to predict. Yeah, I can't say that there is a decrease in cycle time. So we can say that cycle time is something like if I put a line between these things, yeah, from the colors, yeah, from the previous color to next color. This is, if I just try to see, this is the kind of a trend of a cycle time. So it is not decreasing, at least. Yeah, it might be increasing a little bit, but it is not decreasing. So I can't say that development has a decreasing cycle time. So that is very clear from this particular graph. So we understand that. So that's option C is false. And since I already got option A and B true, so most likely option D will also be false, but we can just cross check it. Testing is showing decreasing trend in work in progress. That is anyway not clear. So it is, you don't even have to see the graph. You can see it here also. And even if we see the graph, that is also clear that because in the graph we have a pretty much consistent green color. Yeah, so this portion is the area which is occupied by the green color is shown as a work in progress limit. So we don't see that thing is decreasing, at least. Yeah, so that is also not a right observation. So we can say yes, this is not the right thing. So looking at that, the option A and B are right. So in this particular question, A and B is true, and C and D are false. So we will go with A and B. Question number 137. Your agile team is tracking progress using the release burndown chart shown below. The chart contains x-axis sprint numbers 1 to 7. Okay, so in a release, we are targeting 7 sprints. That seems to be coming in. Y-axis remaining work in a story point. Great. Blue color actual represents the actual progress made by the team. Orange line forecasted represent the plan ideal burn down of the work. Okay, yeah, that seems to be pretty straightforward, simple burn down chart. Yes. So what is the question? What does this burn down chart indicates about the team progress? Okay, let me see the thing. Option, the team is behind schedule as they are burning down work slower than the forecasted rate. The team is ahead of the schedule as they have completed work faster. The team is on track as both line follows the same trajectory, and that the team has completed all the planned work earlier than expected. Definitely D is not the thing. So in a simple word, they are asking us, by looking at this burn down chart, can we tell are we on track or not? Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, that's the question. So what do you read? Yeah, there is little bit behind schedule. Yeah, so we are left with around 60 story point, but we were expected to be somewhere around 55, or I would say 50 story point, something like that. Yeah. So the ideal or a forecasted was this one, maybe around 50 to 55, but the actual is 60. So we are a little bit behind schedule. That's it. That's the answer, which we can easily see looking at this particular chart. So the team is behind schedule. They are burning down work slower than the forecasted rate. I can say option A is right. Though there was a time in the second iteration, the team was fast. In a third iteration, team became slow. Then in a fourth iteration, also team was little fast than the schedule. And by the time we reached to a fifth iteration, team went behind. So overall, they are not very off. Yeah, but if we have to answer it, we can't just say that they are on track. Yeah, they are little behind, and I need to choose option A. I can't say the option C. B is anyway out, yeah, because they are not ahead. Yeah, sometimes we may think that they look very close. Why can't we see they are on the track? Yeah, but we have to critically see it, and I will go with option A only because they are little behind the schedule. Question number 138. Your agile team is tracking progress using release burnup chart shown below. The chart contains x-axis sprint number 1 to 7, y-axis total work in story point. Okay. A blue line actual represents the actual work completed by the team. Orange line, target, represents the total planned scope for the release. Yeah, so you have a total work and you have a progressing, which is coming in as a as of now completed work. Yeah, and this is the y-axis has a story point, x-axis has a iterations or sprint. So what is the question? Which of the following are correct observation based on the chart? Select two correct answers. Okay, so we need to look at the chart and find out what is the right thing. So velocity was lower in iteration 3 compared to other iterations. Okay, so see, it's a burn up chart. So it's a accumulation of your velocities as we are doing it. So I can say that this was little flat here. So in a first iteration, we had a 20 story point completed. In a second iteration, we had around 20 to 50. If this is the 50, then we can say around 30 story point completed. And from second to third, it was only 10. Yeah, so 10 story point completed because we went 50 to 60. And in a 4, again, we went around 18, 19 because it was near to 80. And then again, it was near to 100. So this was around 20 story points range was coming. So I can say in a simple word, in iteration 2, we had a max velocity. In iteration 3, we had a min velocity. Yeah, and other places we had around 18 to 20 velocity. That much information is coming from here. So let's see what is the option here. The velocity was lower in iteration 3 compared to other iterations. That's true. The target scope line remains stable. We'll analyze it. The velocity was lowest in iteration 2. No, that's wrong. Yeah, so option C is definitely wrong because velocity was highest in iteration 2. That's there. Yeah, so we know A is wrong, A is right, and C is wrong. Yeah, so A and C has been taken care. Let's compare B and D also because it is talking about new scope. So new scope is this particular line. So this line trend. So we know it was pretty stable. Only fluctuation happened here. So when we moved from third iteration to fourth iteration, so it can say that when we were running the fourth iteration, yeah, this is like when the first iteration was here, second was here, third was here, fourth. So yeah, during this time, yeah, some work has been added. So in a fourth iteration, some work has been added. Before and after that, the total work is stable. That is pretty much clearly coming out from a top line of release burnup chart. So let's see. So the target scope remain stable. Depends. Yeah, new scope was added in a release in iteration 4. Yeah, so D is true. Yeah, the target scope was not very fluctuating, but we can't say it was stable. There was a change in between, and we know that D is anyway right. So looking at this case, we need to go with option A and option D. We know that velocity was lower in iteration 3, and we know the new scope was added in the release in the iteration 4. Yeah, so that was the testing done. Question number 139. So you are a product owner for an online money transfer app for that releases weekly update. The customer satisfaction score has remained stable over the last 4 months, fluctuating between 80 to 82%. So they are saying it's under control. However, the number of negative product review has steadily increased from 0 to 8 over the same period. As a product owner, what should you do first? Yeah, okay. So here we have a situation where you have a stable CSAT, or at least the CSAT is not looking a problem, but the negative reviews are coming about your product. Yeah. So whenever you see this question, first thing is that you should be very clear about what is CSAT score. Yeah. So we understood as per our delivery domain workbook, the CSAT score is percentage of people ranking 4 and 5, satisfied and very satisfied. Yeah. So 1 to 5, 4 and 5 is the percentage over the total population. So if you have 100 people taking the CSAT survey, and out of 100, say 80 were saying that we are 4 or 5, our CSAT score will be 80%. Yeah, that's how the CSAT is calculated. So the satisfied customer as a percentage is still high. Yeah, it's still the same. But you have a negative reviews. Now 1 to 3, there is a possibility some people might be at a 3 level, but still the CSAT will be 80. out of those 20 people left, there are 3 levels, then CSAT is also 80. It is also possible that these 20 people, 10 might be at a 1 level and 10 might be at a 3 level, and still the CSAT will be 80%. Yeah, but the people who are at a 1 level may end up writing negative review as well. Yeah, so that's the situation. So I can't just rely CSAT alone to give me the real picture of what is working, because I might be still making a percentage of the population happy. That is clearly coming out CSAT, but the unhappy population could be significantly unhappy also, which is not very clearly coming in, which is coming as a part of a negative review feedback. So let's see options like as a product owner, what should I do first? I need to do an analysis of it. I need to figure it out what is happening in the rest of the population. I can't just ignore it. Option A, nothing to worry about since your CSAT score is stable. I can't say that because I understand each matrix has its own limits. We need to look at variety of KPIs and dimensions before we can understand the health of our product or our services. Yeah, so I can't just go with alone CSAT. Option B, analyze negative feedback trends to identify common complaints or recurring issues. Definitely, I want to read the review. I will say, guys, let me see what kind of issues are coming in and who are the possible people who might be writing it. That's a good thing I can do as a first thing. Yes, yeah. Option C, take a sample of a user and talk to them to gather direct insight into their expectation. I can do that, but sample may be coming out of the high potential, high satisfied CSAT population as well. So I may do sampling, but the option B is better because I first need to read the reviews, and probably if you can identify those individuals who are not satisfied, doing conversation with those people is definitely a good idea. Yeah. So, but yes, sampling is a possible choice, but B is the first thing to do. Option D, evaluate if the user personas has changed, attracting new users with different expectation. There's a possibility. Yeah. So we might be attracting different kind of people who might be using this application now, and they are more dissatisfied than before. There is a possibility of that analysis as well. But my first focus should be that I better read the reviews before I go further. So I choose option B in this particular situation. I need to actively engage with my customers. Yeah. The CSAT calculation and details you will see in your delivery domain workbook. You better follow that carefully. Question number 140, final question for this 10 question set. Your company develops an online collaboration tool for remote team, and your development team operates in a hybrid mode, mixing office and remote work. The leadership team believes that spending more time in the office lead to increased productivity and has implemented a new KPI to track the number of hours employees spend in the office. Over the past 2 months, the average office time has increased, but during a sprint retrospective, you observed that this increase does not correlate with fewer defect or reduced lead time. As a Scrum Master, what should you do next? So in a simple word, this question is trying to show that you are measuring something which you probably want to measure, but as a Scrum Master, and this measurement is happening because of leadership focus, but as a Scrum Master, you see that this is not a right metric to measure because it is not producing the desired impact which we want on our customer delivery or on our product quality. Yeah. So that's the situation as a Scrum Master you are feeling. What should you do next? Yeah. So in a simple word, I should definitely share my feelings. This feedback has to be shared with my management. I can't remain silent about it. That's very clear. I may not able to change this metric from now onwards because it's a management thing. So I need to demonstrate my negotiation and stakeholder engagement skills. So that kind of option should be good. So as a Scrum Master, what should you do next? Option A, align with leadership expectations. Since this is an easy KPI to track, encourage the team to focus on increasing office work hours as a way to meet management reporting needs. Yeah. Practically, many Scrum Masters may end up doing this only. They are saying, why to worry? We just need to show these metrics going up. And I may keep reminding my team, guys, keep coming to office because we want to show our project in a right light. Not a good idea. When the question is indicating that this is not creating the desired impact, I just can't following something, at least in the exam, which my management want without raising the point. Again, without making them aware. I need to make them aware because they may not be knowing that this is happening. So option A goes out. Option B, challenge the KPI with data. Good. Share your observation with leadership that time spent in the office does not directly impact productivity. Suggest measuring defect rate, cycle time, and lead time instead to track the actual delivery performance. So it is saying that, I will prepare a data and I will go and say that better we focus on lead time, cycle time, defect rate kind of thing at the place of tracking the number of hours or amount of hours people are spending in the office. So I'm making a case for these matrices rather than continue metrics of counting the number of hours in the office. It looks good. I need to reflect that. Option C, ignore and remove the metric. Since office hours do not impact productivity, stop measuring and reporting this metric from the next sprint without further discussion. So again, as a Scrum Master, we need to focus on stakeholder engagement as well. There is a possibility there could be some other perspective which manager may have. We are not looking for any conflict. We are looking for education, collaboration, and coaching everyone, coaching management as well. So we should be coaching management rather than saying you are talking about something which doesn't make sense. Option D, let individuals decide their work style. Encourage each team member to self-assess whether working remotely or in the office is better for their productivity without addressing leadership concern. Maybe okay, not okay, but this is out of track option. Our question is basically focusing on a particular KPI, and the question is indicating a context that management is measuring something which doesn't make much sense, and what should you do in that particular situation. Yeah. So not everything which you count counts. Yeah, that's a quote you pick up from your delivery domain slide, that you need to. It's not like something which we can count will really count for the productivity or for the problem which we are trying to address. So I have to bring this issue out and make sure that we have a collaboration to find out how should we be measuring and taking feedback about our work. So go with option B. Now, this is also mapped to manage agile matrices, and most of your delivery domain maps to the matrices because there are many sections about flow, optimization, eliminate waste, and dedicated section about matrices, all pointed to matrix related understanding in your agile topics. So if you have any follow-up queries, drop them into the comment area. If you want to speed up your PMI-ACP preparation, you can join our live PMI-ACP program. We do augment the live class with a lot of pre-recorded videos as well, and good amount of mock tests like this, which can help you getting ready for your PMI-ACP in a shortest possible time.